Let me ask you something. When you look at your bank balance, what are you really seeing? Is it actual cash, like a pile of bills with your name on it tucked away in some vault? Well, the answer, it's probably not what you think, and it might just change how you see money forever.
Now, that sounds pretty dramatic, right? But here's the thing. This isn't some crazy conspiracy theory. It's pretty much how the entire global financial system is designed to work. So what is this system? How on earth does it operate? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
All right, first up, let's talk about the digital illusion. We're going to pull back the curtain on this ancient trick that our entire modern economy is built on. It's a little something called fractional reserve banking. But, to really get a handle on our digital world today, we actually have to go way back. I'm talking medieval Europe, back to a time of goldsmiths and their super secure vaults. It sounds old-fashioned, but believe me, this simple story is the key to unlocking how our whole crazy complex banking system even started. Okay, so picture this. It all started out pretty straightforward. You've got citizens who need a safe place to store their gold, right? So they take it to the local goldsmith, who puts it in a vault and gives them a paper receipt. Simple. Pretty soon, people realize it's way easier to just trade these little paper receipts instead of lugging around heavy gold. And then, the goldsmiths have a light bulb moment. They notice something. Most of the gold, it just sits there. Nobody's coming to get it. So they start thinking, wait a second, what if we just wrote out some extra receipts for gold we don't actually have and then loan them out to people for interest?
And boom, that was it. That was the aha moment. Money was literally created out of thin air, based on nothing more than a promise. I mean, think about it. It wasn't just some sneaky trick. This was the birth of credit, the very system that powers our entire world today.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today. How does that old goldsmith's trick apply now? Well, the vaults, that's been replaced by a digital ledger on a computer screen. But the core idea, the fundamental principle, it's exactly the same.
So there's an official name for this whole thing. It's called Fractional Reserve Banking, and it means exactly what it sounds like. Banks are only required to keep a tiny fraction of your deposit in reserve, just a little slice. And the rest of it? They are legally allowed, in fact encouraged, to lend it all out.
All right, let's watch this play out. Let's say you deposit $100 into your account. You see that number, $100.00 on your app. It feels safe, right? Like your $100 is just sitting there, waiting for you. Spoilers, it's not. The second that money hits your account, the bank holds onto a tiny piece of it, say $10, and then immediately lends out the other $90 to someone else. Now that person takes their new $90 loan and deposits it into their bank. And guess what that bank does? It keeps a small piece and lends out the rest. And this cycle just keeps going and going and going. And the result of this chain reaction is kind of mind-blowing. Through this whole cycle of lending and redepositing, your original $100 can actually create up to $1,000 of new money out in the economy. But wait, where did all that extra money come from? It seems like magic, right? Well, here's the catch, and this is the most important part of this whole thing. Almost all of that new money, a staggering 90% of it, isn't really money at all. It's debt. It only exists as a number on a screen, a promise that someone, somewhere, will eventually pay back a loan. Okay, so this isn't just some boring economic theory. This system has 3 huge, real-world consequences that impact your life every single day. We're about to look at how this whole setup leads to what you could call engineered inflation, how it creates a trap of perpetual debt, and maybe most importantly, how it fuels the widening gap between the rich and everyone else. So first up, engineered inflation. Every single time a bank creates a new loan, they're essentially creating new money. And when you have more and more dollars chasing the same amount of stuff, well, the value of each one of those dollars goes down. Your purchasing power gets weaker. And let me be clear, this is not a bug in the system. It's a feature. Next up, this idea of perpetual debt. And this is a real brain bender. Think about it. Every dollar is created as a loan, right? But the money to pay the interest on that loan, that money is never created. It just doesn't exist. So mathematically, there is always more debt in the system than there is money to pay it back. The only way to keep the whole thing from collapsing, more people have to take out new loans to pay off the old ones. The system literally needs to keep growing its debt just to stay afloat. And finally, number 3, the widening wealth gap. This system really splits people into two groups. On one side, you have people who own hard assets, things like real estate or stocks. All this new money being pumped into the system pushes the value of their stuff way up. But on the other side, you've got people who are savers, people on fixed salaries. And what happens to them? The value of their hard-earned cash, their savings, it just slowly evaporates. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it.
Okay, look, the point of all this isn't to scare you. Not at all. It's about building awareness. It's about learning to see the very real difference between the numbers you see on a screen and what actually counts as real, lasting wealth.
If you look back through history, you see this system is built on one single fragile thing: confidence. And when that confidence cracks, like it did back in 1929, or more recently in 2008, the whole thing gets incredibly shaky. And what's the solution been every single time? The same playbook. Just create more money, print more promises, and try to paper over the cracks.
So, what are the big takeaways here? What should you remember? First, those numbers in your bank account, they aren't wealth, they're promises. Second, you have to get your head around the fact that our system needs your debt to survive. If everyone paid off their debts, the money supply would literally shrink. And third, it might be wise to think about diversifying, having some value in things that exist outside of this purely digital system.
Look, just understanding this old goldsmith's trick is a massive first step towards real financial awareness. So the next time you open your banking app and check your balance, you'll see it differently. You'll know exactly what you're looking at. Not a pile of cash, but a digital promise, held together by nothing more than faith.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of heavy question to chew on. In a system that is literally built on debt, a system that requires us to be in debt for it to even function, what does true financial independence even look like? Is it even possible?